live from the Nebraska Ag Expo. This is the Sunrise Report. This special presentation is being brought to you by the Nebraska Ag Expo and Prairie Industries. Now, let's go inside the Lancaster Event Center in Lincoln for this morning's Sunrise Report. Here are your hosts, Bryce Doeschot and Chad Moyer.
Good Tuesday morning to you and welcome inside the Lancaster Event Center. Bryce Doeschot and Chad Moyer joining you as we bring you the Sunrise Report live from the Nebraska Ag Expo. Chad, sure feels good to be at a farm show again, doesn't it?
Boy, it sure does, Bryce. If you can't tell because of the mask, I am smiling underneath.
I'll have to take your word for it.
Yes, I'm smiling underneath my mask because, yes, we are at a farm show. I think I am encouraged because it feels like things are opening up a little bit. The Iowa-Nebraska Equipment Dealers Association has been working with Lancaster, Lincoln Public Health, and they've come up with a plan, and this is a go, Bryce. That's good news.
That is great news, and we are here inside the building, so the show is happening. It starts today at 8:30. It'll go through Thursday. We'll run down with the show hours here in a little bit, but Chad, we've got a jam-packed Sunrise Report, and this is a program we started doing a few years ago to let folks know what's going on before the doors open, give you kind of a sneak peek into life as exhibitors are putting the final touches on their exhibits. I can see people tearing the plastic off and shining up those tires in front of us, Chad.
Yeah, that's right. They're putting some polish on there. They want it to look good because, like you say, we are having a farm show and it is open. I think the only restriction is you do have to wear a mask when you come in, and I think that's about it.
Yep, bring your mask. That's the policy here at the Lancaster Event Center here in Lancaster County. So make sure you do bring one of those as you come out to the show. If you forget, they do have some masks and hand sanitizer at the door as well. So coming up on this morning's Sunrise Report, we're going to check in with the Nebraska Iowa Equipment Dealers Association, talk about how the Iowa show went. That took place a couple weeks ago, and get Cindy Feldman's reflection on that, how that show went. Also going to show you a couple different featured exhibitors as we bring you those interviews, some segments, Chad, that we did in Iowa. So jam-packed show coming up for the Tuesday edition of the Sunrise Report.
I don't want to steal any of Cindy's thunder or anything like that, but you were over at the Iowa Farm Show just a couple of weeks ahead of this one. What was the feeling? What was the attitude over there?
Well, it was sure good to get out. That was what the resounding message from everyone. I don't care what the restrictions are. As long as we're able to go to a farm show, we're willing to do it so we can be here. That was a message from both exhibitors and those attending. And what numbers might be a little bit down overall, as Cindy will share here in a moment. But the people who are coming out to farm shows, they're interested in buying some of the things they're seeing here. The mood's up a little bit in farm country. I imagine you have to agree with that statement too.
I think so too. There's been a few things that have kind of enlightened farm country here recently, and the weather is so much better than it was last week or 2 weeks ago. Maybe it'll be a little sloppy, Bryce. Maybe you won't be able to get anything done at the farmyard, at least right now. So come to the Lancaster Event Center in Lincoln, right?
Absolutely. Well, let's get to it. Let's jump into our first segment. This is with Cindy Feldman. She's with as we mentioned, the Nebraska Iowa Equipment Dealers Association, the parent company for the Nebraska Ag Expo, as she talks about some of the changes made to this year's show.
Right. It's different for us, too. We've got a full lineup. 500 exhibitors, 100 exhibitors are new exhibitors to the Nebraska Ag Expo. But we've got 3 full days. Doors open at 8:30 every day.
And this show has really taken on, of course, a life of itself, grown to be the second largest indoor farm show in the U.S. Talk about some of the ways you're continuing to innovate, though. Like this year, you've got the Hemp Expo happening, too.
Yeah, we've partnered with the U.S. Hemp Growers, and they're teaching farmers and ranchers more about hemp production as well as hemp as a cover crop in the state of Nebraska. They've got some equipment, they've got seminars, they've got end products to share, and they also have seminars happening in Pavilion 3.
And Cindy, I always like to give our viewers kind of a sneak peek behind the scenes, and obviously we're able to do that here on Monday of setup day, but help us understand how long you guys have been planning just for the move-in of all of this equipment to coordinate a kind of a puzzle piece of getting everybody in here in the right way, right?
Yeah, it takes 11 months of planning. Basically, when we end a show, we have 1 month off, and then we start planning for the next year. This is an unusual year. We had this show planned and ready to go, and then we postponed late November, changed it to February, and so here we are. We continued to do a lot of work. There was a lot of COVID protocols to understand and put in place, as well as, exhibitors coming and going, and yeah, we're a full show, so.
And you have not had much time to rest since the Iowa Ag Expo. You and I had the opportunity to chat there. Tell me about how that show went and what you learned to be able to implement here at the Nebraska one.
Yeah, you know, I think as attendees, the older generation is maybe staying home a little bit more. So it's more qualified attendees that are coming to our shows. That's at least what we heard at the Iowa Ag Expo. We've gotten a lot of registrations for the Nebraska Ag Expo, so I think the crowd's going to be fairly good. This one, you know, is both crop farming as well as livestock focus, so there's a lot to see. It's all pure ag.
Now, for the folks coming out to the Nebraska show, what do they need to know? Is there any registration they need to do online or things they need to do ahead of time?
You can register online at nebraskaagexpo.com. We'll be handing out masks and hand sanitizer at the door. Lincoln is still under a mask mandate, so we do what we can there. We have wider aisles, we have more seating area. There'll be parking attendants to help you spread out where you park so you can come in maybe a different door than you're normally used to. But yeah.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the farm show here this morning. You know, we're doing it live. We're doing the Sunrise Report here on location. Bryce, it was great to hear those comments from Cindy and the fact that things are going on. People are happy to be out. Just can't think of a better way to spend a February day, right?
Absolutely. Now, the show usually is in December. Folks that come every year know that, but I'm calling it punting. The show had to punt a little bit to get out of some of the challenges that the city of Lincoln was facing. But we're here, we're in person, and here we are standing next to one of the many pieces of equipment you can find here inside the show.
Hey, can I borrow your checkbook for a second?
Not mine, no. Oh. You have to ask your wife about that one. Hey, good luck.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate that. The farm show here today, the Nebraska Ag Expo, it's over 9 acres of exhibit space undercover. So I know it's the weather isn't going to be too bad, but we're undercover in climate-controlled comfort here. There's over 100 new exhibitors at the farm show here today, tomorrow, and Thursday. And that's exciting to see new businesses and new industries be a part of the show, right?
Absolutely, Chad. A lot of excitement here. And we've got more from the Nebraska Ag Expo coming up right after this.
The Sunrise Report is brought to you by these Rural Radio Network partners. The Nebraska Ag Expo. It's a new name, but the same great show. Now in its 14th year, the annual Nebraska Ag Expo is the second largest indoor ag show in the United States. This pure ag show features the best ag has to offer, from big iron, precision ag, aerial imaging, and livestock production to inputs, data management, and more. And Crary Industries. Crary manufactures innovative, reliable agricultural equipment that maximizes customer efficiency and profitability. From their air reels to water solutions, Crary has products to help your farming operation. Visit them at the Nebraska Ag Expo or visit them online at crary.com.
Welcome back to the Sunrise Report here this morning. Bryce, we mentioned before, 9 acres undercover here. There are a lot of aisles, 4 different buildings, a lot of aisles that you have to go up and down. And I know it can seem kind of daunting, but what if you need to pick a place and sit down? Can you help a guy out?
I could definitely help a guy out with that. And actually, a couple weeks ago, when we were at the Iowa Ag Expo, we had the chance to visit with a couple guys, or just one guy there, who was telling us about a product. It's called the Original Bucket Stool. This is quite innovative and quite interesting, and they've got a patent on this product. I'm excited to show you this video feature, a segment we did at the Iowa Ag Expo.
We make these in Excelsior Springs, Missouri. It's really quite the unique product. Every other seat that sits on a bucket sits flush with your bucket, so you can't use it, right? You can't get into it. Here, we fix that problem. We just have a gap between where you sit and the lip of the bucket itself. So I can sit on my bucket and use my bucket as a tool. They spin right on top of your bucket, and when you're done using it, just put your stuff back in the bucket, take 2 legs of your bucket stool, put them right through the handle of your bucket, give it a little tap, and it's ready to go.
Just
and
like that.
That's the bucket stool. Yes, sir.
Another benefit of it, you're sitting a little bit higher than just sitting on a 5-gallon bucket. You didn't mention that part.
Yeah, I am. If I'm setting up a little bit higher, it's easier on my hips, my knees, my back. If you're setting on a 5-gallon bucket, a lot of times for different applications, it's just too short. Here we raise you up a little bit, gives you that freedom of moment, helps your hips, your knees, and your ankles.
Made in the USA.
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit more about the company's backstory.
So my friend Jim and his dad Roger are the founders of the company. Roger is an older gentleman from Concordia, Missouri, and he was messing around in his shop and came up with the idea, and Jim and Roger went and got the patent, and here we said it really is a farm to market story. We've been selling them since about 2017, and it's been really good for us.
The original bucket stool. Who would have thought? What a unique product, Chad.
It was kind of fun to see.
Visiting with Chad in the video and being able to show you that product now of something they had on display in Iowa, and they'll be here at the Nebraska Ag Expo. So if you need to take a rest after all that walking across the 9 acres, just have a seat on the original bucket stool and visit with those guys here at the Nebraska Ag Expo. Chad, one of the staples to the show is usually some of the seminars that they have to offer, and you and I have had the opportunity to encourage folks to come out to those each year. That does look a little bit different this year with some restrictions in place, particularly with the folks over at the university, but there is still an opportunity to tune into some of the seminars, particularly in terms of hemp. Tell us what's going on here.
Yeah, there are a number of different things going on. Like Bryce said, some of the normal presenters just can't be here for whatever reason, whether they're allowed or not. But anyway, they are going to put on several presentations here today and tomorrow, and again centered around hemp. If you remember, just a couple of years ago, hemp became a part of the USDA program, and states had to put together a plan to allow this crop to be grown in their states. Of course, Nebraska and Iowa both did that. And so we're going to get kind of a state of the hemp union. That'll be the first presentation this morning at 10 o'clock. And that's just kind of a nice overview of what's happening in the hemp industry, specifically what's going on in Nebraska as well. Following that up at 11:30 this morning, the Hemp Feed Coalition. And this is, maybe I need to sit in on this. I didn't realize that hemp is a potential feed ingredient potentially for livestock. So that'll be talked about. And then rounding out the presentations at 2 o'clock this afternoon, specific trials and expectations for farmers and processors related to hemp and grain production. So again, kind of putting this new potential crop here in Nebraska, put it into context and really try and getting information in people's hands.
Well, there's a great learning opportunity there for folks interested in hemp, and come on out to the Nebraska Ag Expo and see that today. Chad, we've talked about how great it feels for us to be at a farm show, and that feeling is kind of sigh of relief that things might be headed back into a normal direction. It's also a great feeling for the exhibitors here. And again, at the Iowa Ag Expo, I had a chance to visit with Duolift Manufacturing, particularly the Director of Sales, Paul Hotovy, as he shared his thoughts on what it feels like after nearly a year of not being able to travel, how it felt to be back at a farm show. So let's see what it's like now.
First of all, we want to give a shout out to the Iowa-Nebraska Dealer Association for having the courage, having the fortitude to say to the industry that we can and we should and we will have a show or shows. It's important for the farm community to get out. It's important from our manufacturing constituents to get out and meet people. We're very pleased to be here, and you can see that it's being done in a very safe and COVID appropriate manner. And it's great to be out. It's great to meet the customers that own our products or the future customers that are looking at our products. It gives us a chance to work with our dealers and distributors all over the United States. Our last show was in February of 2020. We've had no other major shows since then. They were all canceled and postponed. So it's been a different world.
Did you face any other challenges besides the inability to go to farm shows?
Yeah, that's a very good point. We've been blessed that we haven't had major outbreaks of COVID at our factory. We've been careful. We've done what we could appropriately code and follow-up wise. So we had challenges of meeting production deadlines, meeting production and shipment deadlines because, while we didn't have major outbreaks, we've had a few instances, but we had a general slowdown in our productivity because of the challenges of keeping a workforce in place and having everybody there at all the time. So it was a challenging year, no doubt about it.
All right, thank you very much. And again, a lot of those same sentiments, I think, are felt by folks here, and just happy to be out and happy to be gathered here. And I tell you what, you're come on out to the Nebraska Ag Expo. Am I interrupting?
Yes, I'm just looking through the magazine, Chad. I'm trying to see everything. I mean, look at some of this stuff. Have you seen this Walkabout Mother bin yet, Chad?
No, not in person. I've actually seen a few videos on it, including
right
yours.
here.
Yeah.
One of the many things people can come see, and of course they do have their magazine you can pick up and see kind of a guide to walking around the 9+ acres of exhibit space, gives you the booth numbers of everybody and the cover.
There you go.
We haven't talked about this yet, but it's the new name, same great show, the Nebraska Ag Expo. Used to be called the Nebraska Power Farming Show, but they're kind of widening that up a little bit because it's pure ag. It's all about agriculture here at the Ag Expo.
Yep. So when you come here, pick up one of these because this is your guide to get you through the show. It's got the exhibitor list. It's got those presentations that we were talking about. Some of the sponsors and other advertisers are in there. So pick one of these up and you'll be good to go for the farm show.
Very good, Chad. Final thoughts from you? We're at the Nebraska Ag Expo. Great feeling.
The final thought is, yes, we are here. We are going to enjoy some great camaraderie and looking forward to seeing you here at the Expo as well. If you can't make it today, you still got tomorrow and Thursday. So come on out. 8:30, the doors open each day.
Very good. We'll end it on there today, Chad. Thanks for joining us here on the Sunrise Report. We'll see you back tomorrow.
The Sunrise Report is brought to you by these Rural Radio Network partners. The Nebraska Ag Expo. It's a new name, but the same great show. Now in its 14th year, the annual Nebraska Ag Expo is the second largest indoor ag show in the United States. This pure ag show features the best ag has to offer, from big iron, precision ag, aerial imaging, and livestock production to inputs, data management, and more. And Crary Industries. Crary manufactures innovative, reliable agricultural equipment that maximizes customer efficiency and profitability. From their air reels to water solutions, Crary has products to help your farming operation. Visit them at the Nebraska Ag Expo or visit them online at crary.com.